In recent years, especially after COVID, we are seeing increase in various non-communicable diseases among children. Even very youngsters and children at the young age are now prone to diabetes, heart attacks, heart diseases, and so on. We are trying to understand why this phenomena is happening and why kids at younger age are being prone to all these diseases and why they are acquiring these diseases. So, in order to explain us what is happening and why this phenomena is occurring in India, especially, we have Dr. Avish Pani, consultant pediatrician with Apollo Cradle and Children's Hospital, Kondapur, to explain us what are the reasons why these things are happening, what could be the possible solutions and treatment options that are available, and what are the various preventive measures that one need to take. So we will talk to Dr. Uh, Avash Panigaru. Sir, we are seeing a sudden increase in obesity. Even children are prone to various heart diseases, diabetes, and then hypertension, and their stress levels are increasing, and all these things. So, why all these things are happening in India? What are the various reasons behind it?
So obesity, heart disease, obesity, blood pressure, diabetes, these are all almost the background is same. And that leads to, in unfortunate cases, heart attacks also. We definitely are seeing an increase. Before COVID also it was increasing. After COVID it increased in a faster rate. So one word answer if you ask, it is lifestyle. Now what is lifestyle? So many things are involved in lifestyle. And why the lifestyle is changing? Because our cultural values are also changing. One small example, previously we were eating like home cooked food, and like directly it will be bought from the kirana store, cooked in the house, and child will eat. Now simply we can go to supermarket and buy pre-cooked foods which are having high, salt and sugars and other preservatives, or Swiggy and I should not mention in names, but they're very common. So any ordering out and eating out, both are increasing. So these are the lifestyle and cultural background which is changing with the decades. And slowly now we are seeing, because of this, the rise in our obesity, blood pressure, and heart attack, diabetes in the younger age group. We are not saying young children. Young children diabetes is different. We will not confuse with that. Child getting suddenly diabetes type 1, that is type 1 diabetes at 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, that's a completely different thing. We are not talking about that. That is immune mediated process. Anybody can get anytime, that we are not discussing. We are saying the adult type 2 diabetes in the younger age group. We are coming across children of 7 years weighing 50 kg. Children of 10 years weighing 70 kg. 12 years weighing 90 kg, even 100 kg I have also seen. So this is because the one word answer is lifestyle. So where we are going wrong? First is the diet itself. So the quality of the diet and the preservatives and the salt, because if you are buying from a supermarket to make the shelf life more, anything that is a processed food, they are using maida instead of whole atta, chakki atta. One example. These are not limited to what I am telling, but the viewers should get the understanding that generally what I am trying to mean. So instead of using atta, maida is coming. Instead of using the natural, like suppose sweets, we are putting so much of sugar in a particular sweet. Previously sweets used to be made at home. Base used to be some other thing, not like maida and lot of sugar. It will be mildly sweet, but nowadays every sweet has to be more sweet than the sweetness is also increasing. Use of sugar is increasing. So the type of food we are eating previously and now it is changed. That is one thing. Second is the quantity of food. That is the diet, the portions. So what is happening? The norm previously, suppose child, there's a people should understand that every age group we have a range of weight. So suppose 10 kg child, he can weight 20 kg to 40 kg suppose. But our slowly our families, our society wants the child to weigh more and more. By seeing a normal child, they are saying who is the middle of normal, that is the middle average weight. We are telling him that he is thin. We are telling his mother, the mother typically comes log bolte hain. People are telling. And who are those people? Those people are our society only, starting from our immediate family. This is a very controversial topic. If any controversies, if somebody is getting hurt, please forgive me, but this is the truth people have to hear. तो लोग बोलते हैं कि मेरा मेरा बेटा पतला है, मैं केयर नहीं करती. This is the line that is causing increasing obesity in India. From childhood, we are giving him more and more to eat, and very more frequently. Suppose 6-month-old child or 1-year-old child, every 3 hours we can feed, no problem. Little bit, every 3 hours. Small child, small stomach, he can eat little bit. He's very active. So 2 years, 1 year, his child is 1 year now, 2 year now, 3 years, 4 years child. Still we are giving him every 3 hours. After lunch, after 1 hour, and he's getting some biscuit or chocolate or something munching. It is called grazing, like a goat. The mouth will be like almost continuously eating. So quality of food I touched, then quantity of food and number of times person is eating. So many dietitians and all, they rightly tell that frequent small meals is the correct. That is correct. But somewhere we are changing from frequent small meals to frequent meals. Why? Because that snack itself nowadays is coming loaded with calories. Suppose evening you will see in front of many, inside the society, many supermarkets are there. You just go and stand there in any high-rise society, stand in front of the supermarket at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You see a train of children entering from 5 years to 15 years, carrying one chips packet and one cold drink packet. Now, how much salt and sugar in their hand? That is taking care of the total calorie requirement of probably 2-3 days. I don't know. Dietitian will tell, or you can calculate. One chips packet, one cold drink packet, entire day easily is covered there. That 2000 or 1500 calorie that the child should take. So the quality of food, quantity of food, these two things are getting increased. That is directly leading to obesity. First, so 2 points are over. Third point is the activity level. So previously you used to eat normally and child used to be active, and so many times, like my childhood, I can say, I will be looking at what I come from school at 2:30, 3 o'clock. 1 hour reading is must. By the time means watch 4 o'clock means I'm out. Then at least 4 to 6, depending on the summer or winter, either 6 o'clock or 6:30, depending on sunset time, I should be at home. So those 2 hours definitely I'm running only. No sitting, no watching TV, no mobile, of course. So sedentary lifestyle has increased, and pressure on the children to read also. If somebody is not in mobile, suppose little bigger child, 9, 10, 12 class. Now they are having to go tuition. From day, morning to night, tuition, whatever, education. So all these things, sedentary lifestyle because of education pressure and gadgets. Both the things are adding to sedentary lifestyle. Even suppose we are staying in a lift, in a house. Suppose we are staying in 10th floor. We will press 10 only. We are not pressing 7 and walking 3 stories. But previously we used to stay in, suppose 2-3 stories flat apartment. Top floor people used to walk now. Up to 4th floor people used to walk. Now high rises, we are directly entering our. So diet, quality, quantity, and sedentary lifestyle. Then less sleep because of gadgets and due to various social issues, because of TV, Netflix, and other things. Children are waking up. Staying awake late, and less sleep is there. So less sleep also contributes to obesity. Plus the stress of exams or peer pressure or wearing the latest dress. So I don't know. Now there's children, my child is also 14, 15 years. So what kind of stress they are, we know from various sources. The stress level from my childhood to now definitely has increased. In my childhood, I didn't know about getting bored. I never told myself that I'm getting bored. Now you see children telling that we are getting bored. So either they're eating or watching TV, or that physical aspect is coming down. So these are the 4 major things why obesity is increasing. Now once obesity increases, directly it leads to increase of blood pressure, directly it leads to increase in diabetes. So we are not limiting our talk today to 12-year-old, 14-year-old. Let us extend it to 25-year-old. So nowadays we are seeing 21-year-old getting heart attack. So many theories are there. I'm not saying all that COVID vaccine theory is there and COVID itself can cause increase. But these heart attacks used to happen before also. You see many famous personalities have died 25, 30 also before COVID. It's not that we cannot blame the COVID only. So some cases might be there, some other issue may be there, but majority, suppose hypothyroidism. So suppose a child is obese, so you directly cannot jump and say he is overeating and getting. So we should rule out, consult a pediatrician and endocrinologist and rule out other diseases like mainly hypothyroidism or any other thing which might be contributing to obesity, but they are very rare. Mostly this is what I told. Total calorie intake per day is way beyond our requirement. We are eating, showing our appreciation, love also chocolate eating, showing reward also. You get so much, you do this thing, yeah, I'll give you chocolate. These are the four major point I would say.
See, when we talk about all these things, the kids where they are taking heavy food, taking more quantity, there's no physical exercise for them because apartment lifestyle is becoming all these things. So blaming only children that you are sitting here, the most of the parents they say you are not doing anything, you are not eating anything, or you are eating too much, you are eating only chips, you are eating all these things. What should be the family role, especially when we see such rise in children? And it is the family that ultimately is going to suffer because of the health issue of a children. So, what family, especially the parents, must do?
Yes, so we never blame children here. It is there are two things, two layers, three layers here. One is the child. He cannot, suppose we get a 10-year-old child who is obese. We don't blame him, and he personally cannot do anything. Suppose when he is 30, 35, he is well settled into the job, then nowadays we are seeing many people joining gym and doing cycling and all. That time, when job part is over and they are little relaxed, then they are saying, "Arey," they are coming to know that health is there, and then they start to diet and exercise and all those things. So that is a separate thing. 10-year-old child is too young to understand all these things. He doesn't know what is diabetes, what is hypertension, what is the potential risk of obesity, all those things he don't know. So the layers here are the child itself, the immediate family, father, mother, then the extended family, mainly grandmother and grandparents and uncles, aunties, neighbors, then society as a whole. Do we, suppose today I am staying in one colony, do I have the facility to play as a 8-year-old child? If I step out of my house, there is so much traffic, dogs are coming, water is drains, open drain is there. So mother is saying, no, no, don't go out, stay at home. Jo karna hai ghar mein karo. So there's automatically child is saying, I'm getting bored, what should I do? Either eating or watching some screen. So facility as a society first, we have to give the facilities for the child to have a exercise. Then the awareness about nutrition. Now if you see, recently one controversy was there that in baby food, sugar is more. So the sugar should be treated like a toxic substance. Nowadays we are seeing, suppose on cigarette it is written it is injurious to health. Like that in the future, near future, if you don't do that, this packet is containing this much sugar and this is the injurious to health. If you are not putting those kind of signages, this thing is not going to come down. Easy accessible to high sugar and pure sugar, that is the simple sugar. Those things. So as a society, probably this nutrition, general awareness about fitness and facility for giving children to play, and probably decreasing the exam study academic pressure. These are very big things I am telling, but because you mentioned family, I am mentioning in this way. So society has to look at all these things. Family has to know what is healthy, and suppose we are saying so and so's my child is very thin, so and so's neighbor child is very healthy. Now I am guaranteeing it in my experience that healthy child is already obese, and the child who is looking thin is in the middle or within the normal range. So that difference of seeing one person and telling he is mildly obese or inside the weight category, that capacity we have lost as a as a society also. Unless we, the grandmothers and the uncles, aunties, they will keep on telling mother to feed. Mother also, because of social pressure, her own knowledge is not there, and her own knowledge is matching with other people's knowledge. So they keep on feeding the child. So if you keep feeding the child, his habit is there. He has to eat. So by 12 years or 10 years, already their habit is there. Suddenly if you say you're eating too much, who has made that habit? You only. So as a society, those things I told, in a household level, the mothers should not be pressurized by the near relatives to make the child eat more. and look so-called healthy. That healthy is already obese. That we have to understand.
So mother has to be aware of all these facts.
Yes.
And whenever there is a doubt, she has to consult the expert in the field rather than depending upon social media or some relative or something.
Yes.
This is what I understood from you. But despite taking certain precautions by the family, certain things like he is getting regular exercise and all, doing all these things also sometimes children are prone to these diseases. So sometimes people say these are genetic. So because your uncle is like this, so you are also like this. So your grandfather is like this, you are also like this. Is really genetic issues are the reason for sometimes kids to get all these things.
I would say genetic issue is highly overrated. Definitely some cases are there. Familial cholesterolemia and other things. Diabetes is a high genetic predisposition there for type 2 diabetes, but not at this age group. Obviously, if we are doing some long-term treatment of a child, we have to rule out these things. But vast majority, I'll tell one saying that is there. This saying was there before also. It's not new. You can Google it and find. It is not that obesity runs in the family. It is that nobody runs in the family. Understood? Obesity doesn't run in families. Because nobody is running, all are obese. Father, mother, children, all are obese because of their diet and lifestyle. So the genetic part is not so, people blame their genes, but that is very rare, I would say, extremely rare.
Extremely rare means there are certain chances.
Cases are there.
So what are those genetic issues that we can?
Familial hypercholesterolemia is one, and the diabetes, sometimes the genes are very strong and the person may get in teenage or just post-teenage. Family history we have to take. So endocrinologist will be doing those things. So when you are having obesity, diabetes, hypertension, pediatrician will screen and refer to pediatric endocrinologist. They will do jointly between these two doctors, all these things will be screened.
So whenever you find whatever may be the reason, genetic or family history or the external factors and all. So once we find that this child has some problem because of obesity, he has developed some other health issue that is leading to some other health issue and all. So what as a doctor we will do when we are doing treatment to him?
Yeah, so if we rule out all the genetic part, or even if genetic part is there, the general treatment lines are same. First is counseling. We have to counsel the parents and the child that being obese itself is not a problem. We are not saying your weight has to come down. We are not talking too much about the weight with the child. So then he should not get body shaming and depression, and he should not get into that cycle. So we should tell that these are the things. The ideal lifestyle is this. Food, we can calculate the calories and show them that so much food is not required. You can slowly cut down on the portions first and the quality of food, and then increase the exercise, decrease screen time. And if there is a lot of pressure from family, in the family because of academics or any other, all families have problems. Finances may be there or something else, relationships may be there. So these things, depending on the situation, counseling, meditation, even psychologists, psychiatrists, things can be brought in. So generally these are the principles. And it is opposite of what I told. Decrease the total amount of food, decrease the processed food, and increase the activity. So increased activity can be done in very simple ways. Out of love, even if there is no problem, I will ask the child's parents, who is bringing you are eating on the dining table chair, who is bringing the food to the table, who is bringing water to the table, who is taking away the dishes, and who is filling up the bottles. Simple 4 questions. Child will be sitting, everything is brought, probably mother is also feeding the child till 10 years of age. So there is no stress in the family. Just because of lack of knowledge and more love, adoration, this thing is going on. Like that, just they will say no time for this thing. Exercise, child is studying from morning to night. So okay, 1 year like 9, 10 class or 11, 12 class, those 2, 3 years, nowadays the syllabus has become very simple. In my class, in my 8, 9, 10, we had these thick books. Whole course used to come at 10th. Now I am seeing my child only this much book. So I am feeling the education load is coming down. But because we are adding the IIT and all those layers on school education, we are overburdening the child. So family has to say where half an hour per day is not a very big deal, I think. Half an hour can be devoted to exercise and just monitor how the child is eating. This much should be enough in normal cases. If there's some other major issue, then that has to be tackled at individual level.
Individual level, what would be? Normally, it would be medicines, or we may need some surgical interventions.
Yeah, you're right. So now anti-obesity medicines in India, it is not yet licensed, but in the US, slowly they are being slowly licensed, but we have to yet to see their side effects. So personally, I would reserve it for very extreme cases where some psychological or some other issue is preventing to address these basic issues of diet and exercise. So if that is there, some medicines are there, and there is something called bariatric surgery. So a lot of indications are there which is very specific. You just can't, somebody is obese, you can't, so morbidly obese, he is unable to like walk also, something like that. So in those cases, I'm not the expert in bariatric surgery, but just I'm giving a hint that stomach size can be reduced and the food intake can be reduced. But that would be in a child and in an adolescent, that would be the last resort. In adults, probably yes, but not in children, definitely not. Some cases are there, people are doing, but in very select cases.
So that means basically, if you have good lifestyle, good eating habits, and handling pressure, these are the three important things that a child or family should understand, so that all these modern things, that is basically children are facing, the health issues that children are facing, they can come down.
Easily, 99.999%. How many nines you want to put? It will be solved. The last 0.1 or not 1%, that requires specialized help.
So at the end, specialized help, as you said, when they should come to specialized help. That means these things are normally sorted out in the home. Somebody gives them advice. They try certain things based upon certain other advice and so on. Is it really required to approach a doctor, and when they have to approach the doctor?
No, when I meant specialized, I meant those bariatric and those medicines for reducing weight. Approaching doctor, when we are seeing the child like 10-15 times during the vaccination process. There is no separate health checkup required. While child is coming for vaccinations itself, we are checking the weight, height and showing the growth chart. Your child is on which percentile. The normal percentile is from 3rd to 97. If somebody is going beyond 97, or we are seeing that he was, percentile chart is a graph like this. So we are seeing that he was on the 30th, 50th, 75th. Slowly, at every visit, his percentile is jumping. So we can see that clearly in next 1 or 2 years he will be obese. So in that, before that only we can catch and tell them to change their lifestyle. So we can calculate the BMI. If we see height is increasing, but weight is increasing more. Height is on 50th percentile. Weight is jumping from 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So BMI keeps on increasing. So before the child reaches obesity also, we can predict that something is wrong in your lifestyle and you please do these things. This is the general pediatrician who can do all these things. So that routinely they are coming for vaccines to us. So that is taken care of in our routine visits. Specialized when child is really obese or we are finding some other signs and symptoms of other diseases like hypothyroidism, growth hormone deficiency or something, blood pressure is already high, then we have to send to specialist doctors like endocrinologist or cardiologist like that. They can see the disease part of it. But lifestyle part we can only manage. Dietitian and pediatrician can manage.
So this is the basic reasons for having child obesity. If you manage your lifestyle, if you and your family regularly conducts exercises, and you change the way you take food and the type of the food that you take, you can simply come out of all these issues and can lead a normal life.